I've spent $15,202 on Whiteout Survival in 109 days, and today I'm going to be playing the Prestige Spinner, but before that, I want to get into some drama, because man, I stirred up a whole conversation yesterday with the video I posted about our strategy for state versus state. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't care which state you're from or if you're a subscriber or in another state. What we're doing is purely strategy. We failed ourselves and we're pivoting, and we decided as a state, this wasn't something I decided to do alone. We decided that we're basically going to skip this state versus state. We were matched poorly because many of the people in the state, probably because of the the year 3 special event, the anniversary event, pushed a lot of power. They did it outside of state versus state. We don't have a lot left in the tank. So basically we pumped a bunch of power before state versus state. We got a bad match result because of it. And now we have got nothing in the tank is the way we all felt. We kind of got together. The leaders of the state got together. We all had a vote. I mean, even if I just wanted to do it alone, it wouldn't have been effective. So we all kind of voted together as a state. It's one of the first things we've done that I felt was a really unifying thing that gives me some hope. We were all on the same page. We said, yeah, this is the strategy we're going to take. And that's what we did. So we decided that we're not going to waste resources on this prep when we know we've got a bad match and we don't have a lot in the tank. We've decided we're going to kind of conserve resources. Now, if you read my comments from that last video, man, it's probably one of the most engagement videos I've got yet. I mean, all over different perspectives. One of the things I really appreciated was somebody said it's the state's job to win prep and it's the whale's job to help with castle. So I do like that perspective because I can't do it alone. No matter how much I spend, I can't spend enough to make up for the failings of the entire state, right? So we've got to be all on the same page together as a state to win prep together. And in fact, even for the castle battle, you got to have a good, communication between alliances to make sure that happens well and that you can fight the battle well. Everybody knows their position and everybody knows what they're doing. So if anything, I hope this ended up being the unifying event we're waiting for. Some of you said that it took an event like this to have a unified front and realize what was at stake and how to do it together. However, I've got some other people who are free to play and said I don't care what the rest of you guys are doing. Basically, it's not my job as a free to play player to worry about the whales. The whales can worry about that stuff, not me. Man, that is such a bad attitude. You got to have, I even say as a whale, no one whale can do it alone. You need an entire alliance for events. And then for the state versus state, you need an entire state. You've got to play together and you're part of the team, no matter how small. Everybody is part of the team. It doesn't matter if you're just a whale. So I don't want to get on a soapbox about this, but I just wanted to make it clear that we're not being, mentally affected by this at all. We weren't intimidated by the amount of points we saw. We realized we had some failings as a state. We realized we got a bad match, and we just don't see the point in pursuing something and wasting energy and resources against something that we know that we're not going to be able to win. So why bother doing that? It's just bad strategy, because then we'll continue to have no resources going forward. It's actually better for us to conserve now and then rebuild and come back at this better. So that's all. It's a strategic thing we're doing as part of the game. It's not because we're, down and out about it or anything like that. We're not depressed. We're not, we're not going anywhere. We're just making a strategic play. That's our choice as a state to be strategic about the way we're dealing with this. So that's my little soapbox on why we're doing what we're doing. I appreciate the comments I get. I'll probably get a bunch more comments about this, but I don't want to get into that too much more. But just to say that my strategy at this point is, I'm trying to decide what I do want to press and what I don't, because I also don't want the account, especially as the whale who does help with certain events and stuff like this, Foundry and other events that are going to come between now and the next state versus state. I don't want to lag my account too much, but on the same token, I do need to conserve. So that's the way I'm going to play that. And, you can like it or not. I'm just documenting my journey as I go. This is, everybody's state, everybody's circumstances are going to be a little bit different. In some states, I'm in another state where there's maybe 6 whales that are spending what I'm spending or more. One of the guys even has Meteor March over there already. So like I said, every situation, every state is different. Every circumstance is different. I'm playing the cards I'm dealt in the state that I'm in right now as best I can. And this, I think, is the best strategic play for my account right now. That's kind of where we're at. So we'll we'll see how things go with this strategy. But again, my goal here is just to document the journey, mistakes and all. And maybe this will end up being a mistake that I'll reflect on someday and realize, like, I wish we didn't play it that way. But, it takes a team. I can't do it alone. We decided all together this is our strategy. So I'm playing my part on the team like I do for my alliance or for my state, right? That's where we're at. So let's take a look at some spending, and we'll get to the prestige spinner, and then we'll see where we're at. So for spending tonight, the custom pet chest, I think I'm gonna kind of leave this. I mean, I'll have plenty of time to continue to press this. I want to try to just focus on some efficiency in the meantime. For training, I am going to grab some of the training packs because I do need some more. I do need some more troops, and I'll need some of this on Troops Day anyway, so I'll just do that up to the $10 amount. The same with the Charmed Craftsman pack, just because these charm designs are kind of difficult to get, and there is a certain amount of, getting, working towards Meteor March, a certain amount of spend I have to do just to get the VIP points. The Fire Crystal Energy, like I said, I'm going to leave this, and here we go. Now, this is the problem. I am going to spend on the Hero Gear enhancement for the Gen 3 widget chests, but the problem is I don't want to go too crazy. Basically, I just want to focus on Mia right now, and then I'll reassess later, because this is, gets to be inefficient spending, but it is hard to get these widgets any other way. It takes a long time. So I'm going to grab some of these now while I still can. And this time I'm going to grab them enough to get to, yeah, so that'll allow me to get, basically at least Mia's widget maxed. And then, it gets in more and more inefficient, and that's where I'm going to stop that cutoff right there. And then I'll grab the daily deals like I do, and my claims here. All right. And that's where we're at for that. If we look at now the rest of the event, so yeah, I already was in the events section. There's not a lot going on. I'll grab the journey treasures and the sign in and earn it, Deadshot. There was so let's get into Deadshot. I got 5 that I can do. So here we go. So let's talk about a little bit of game theory right now. Some of you are saying, like, it doesn't actually matter where you press. The outcome has been predetermined. If the game developer implemented it that way, I'd be highly unlikely. It would be highly unlikely, because essentially you'd have to, like, that's not, you'd have to have the progression pre-computed, because essentially this is a game of chance by position of where the items are behind the board. It would be much more easier and more common for the game developer to just assign these slots on the board, and then you pick them, and that's how that works. So yeah, I'm going to continue to go with the center, because I'll tell you what, on my low spend account, I did the same thing just out of curiosity, and I did not have the same results. So it's just like astronomically bad luck that I've been having over here, and the fact that I keep getting keys right in the center is actually kind of a little bit phenomenal. And the scientific exploration part of my brain and the mathematician part of my brain, I actually want to now prove the theory by continuing to do this and seeing over time how many times that actually happens to me. Because on the other account, it has been extremely rare, but over here it's been very common. So let's see. Here we go. That's much better. There we go. This is a little better. We're off to a good start. All right. Nice. Whoop, got a key. All right, got an upgrade. Let's see where to go next. Upgrade. Hey, it's looking better. I finally got a good Deadshot day. Look at this. Not bad. I'll take that. All right. That's a pretty good Deadshot right there. And there we go. So my horrible luck streak has finally been broken. Deadshot doesn't hate me anymore. Oh, and I finally got the emote. Been waiting for that guy. All right. I think I skipped some of the cat events and missed out on some of the Deadshot targets for the emote. All right, so that's where we stand for the deals section. And now we got this Charm Master pop-up that came up. We got 2 days on this, but I'm going to grab this because again, these charm designs and charm guides are a little bit difficult to come by. I'm going to grab it at least up to the $20 mark. Gets a little bit, you know, I mean, the pack itself actually is not too bad. It's just a matter of the efficiency for VIP, but I'm just going to grab it up to that point for now. And that's a bunch of spending I did tonight. But the reason I did a bunch of spending tonight is because I want to have some stuff to do for the Prestige Spinner, because that's the main content that I have for tonight. So let's get into that. Oh, by the way, before I get into the Prestige Spinner, let's get into some other kind of cool account features. So if we look at my skins here, somebody asked me about this avatar frame, and here's the thing. There are 2 avatar frames that I have that are difficult to get. Yeah, this guy right here, the Frost Domain avatar frame, is, as far as I know, well, the way I got this is by spending a certain amount and being invited to the concierge program. But as I understand it, you don't get it all the time. So like the one I had kind of expired, but I got another one. And see, you can use it for 30 days at a time. So like, as long as you keep on spending a certain amount, I think they just keep on giving you this. But if you don't spend that much, I think that's how that one works. You don't get it anymore. And the other one that I have that is kind of special is the one that I have on right now. As I understand it, there's several ways to get this, like maybe some special events, but the Medal of Dawn avatar frame, I have this because I'm an official Whiteout survival content creator. Kind of a cool thing to have. So that, and then of course, you know, I think if you've been following me a while, you've known the other stuff that I've got. You know, I was able to pick up this, the Ice Journey March and the Brute Mammoth, the Auspicious Beast. Of course, these ones came with some of the special events as well. And then, you know, the nameplates from the recent events and all that. So I think the rest of it isn't as special, but I just wanted to show some of those frames because some people were asking me about them because they didn't know how to get them. And that's why, because they're hard to get unless you either, in one case, you have to be a content creator or have, win it through some of those special other events. And in the other case, I think the only way you get that other one is being invited to the concierge team after you spend a certain amount on the game. So that's that. So now let's get into the Prestige, the VIP 12, and I'll make that daily claim. And I'll load up the VIP. And let's see how lucky I get with VIP tonight. So I'm gonna skip animation for the first couple. We'll do these 10 at a time. And let's see how many puzzle pieces I can get tonight. Let's see if I'm lucky, if I can beat the odds or not. All right, we got a Meteor on the first shot. Nice. Another Meteor, nice. All right, decent amount of points. Although 2,000 would be better. 2 Meteor pieces. And, you know, decent points, but look at that. All right. 2,000 points, nice. And now we're going to have to switch to single and see. I get 3 more spins. These ones I'll do with the animation. All right, good points. I almost have enough for the special frame. It'll probably be another... the 50. The dreaded 50. The dreaded 50 again. All right, let's claim those puzzle pieces. So 4 more Meteor puzzle pieces. That's looking pretty good. I'm liking the way that's looking. I think that's above average. All right. So if I remember, well, I don't want to do the calculation again on the fly, but look, we'll have this Ice Age avatar frame fairly soon. Probably by the next time, maybe by the next time I do this, because if I do another 60,000 or so, if I wait until 60 or 100,000, then I'll be able to get that frame again. And that's another unique frame that's hard to get. So that's what I have for tonight. But if you made it this far in the video, I'm assuming you like the content and you're enjoying following this journey, drama, mistakes, and all. So if that's the case, please give me a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way, whenever I post anything, you'll know about it right away. Thank you very much for joining me. And until next time, I'll see you later.